you, Rod. Here are the Eskimos looking for the end zone, looking for Kelly Campbell. Touchdown. An opening drive. Touchdown for the Eskimos, set up by a 46-yard bomb to Brock Ralph earlier in the drive.
What a way to start this game for the Edmonton Eskimos on the road in a place where they just have not had very much success for the last few years. In fact, 6 straight losses here in BC Place. They come in with a tremendous drive to open things up. They go deep to Brock Ralph earlier on in this drive and then hit right there Kelly Campbell to cap it off with the major.
4th touchdown catch of the year, a 76-yard drive for the Eskimos on their opening possession. And they scored on their first possession last week against the BC Lions. Looking for the sweep, trying to become the first team to sweep back-to-back games against the BC Lions in 10 years.
And this has been a tough place for this team to play, and they knew it would be a challenge in that they came back to beat the BC Lions a week ago at Commonwealth Stadium, down by 10 at half. This is the play to Brock Ralph early on in the drive. Ricky Ray comes out just chucking it deep. A wheel route with Fred Stamps going to the post and Brock Ralph on the outside. They isolate Ryan Phillips, the deep player. LeVar Glover lets him go deep. He thinks he has help behind him from Phillips, and this secondary in BC is now played 2 quarters last week where they struggled, and the opening drive tonight.
16-yard touchdown pass to Kelly Campbell. There was a 12-yard pass over the middle to Calvin McCarty after Brock Ralph's big catch, and the Eskimos picking up where they left off last week at Commonwealth Stadium. Noel Prefontaine, the left footer, sends it downfield, and Ian Smart will try and give Jarius Jackson good field position. Running through a couple of arm tackles up to the 40-yard line. Let's meet the starting quarterbacks, brought to you by Wendy's.
Well, we have a couple of good returners here. The starting quarterback for the BC Lions is going to be Jarius Jackson. All but that first game of the season, Jarius Jackson has been the starter. Of course, we've seen Ricky Ray in his very first series take it all the way down the field and put the first major on the board for the Edmonton Eskimos on the road. A great start for Edmonton. There's your 2 starting quarterbacks.
And while the Eskimos ended with a flourish last week, the BC Lions limped home just 42 yards passing in the second half. They begin at the 40, and Stefan Logan play action fake. Jarius Jackson going deep. And that pass incomplete. The intended target downfield was Paris Jackson.
Well, offensively for the BC Lions, they've made a change in the backfield. No Joe Smith at tailback. It will be Stefan Logan. He's going to be the tailback tonight. Wally Buono wants to shake up the offensive roster a little bit. Khalil Hill plays at that slot back position for G-Roy Simon, who misses his 2nd straight game. And there's the starting offensive line with Jason Jimenez and Rob Murphy at tackles.
Late change has Lorne Plant at right guard. 2nd and 10. Lions. Eskimos blitzing. Jackson avoiding. And now rolling out. Circled and dropped back at the 35. Eskimos had their first sack of the game.
They just continue to pick up, like you mentioned, Chris, from where they left off. In the second half of last week's game, it wasn't a good first half for the Edmonton Eskimos. They were down by 10, but boy, did they come back, and they set the heat here. Basically 7 on the line of scrimmage coming after Jarius Jackson, and he couldn't find an open receiver in time.
And Jonte Buell with the sack. Paul McCallum on to kick it away. Good boot. 38 special, Tristan Jackson from his 23. Tripped up on his own, brings it back to the 37. And the Eskimos start fast in BC.
Shop at Safeway. Swipe your club card and play Safeway $1 Million Touchdown to win. It's that simple. You could win $1 million or other great prizes, including a complete Jazz Golf Club set with matching golf bag, a Dirt Devil Designer Series combo, the new shape of clean, a Man's Bull of a Solar Watch, a Universal CD prize pack featuring 3 Doors Down self-titled album, a Prima Cineplus 50-inch HD plasma TV featuring SRS surround sound 1080i and HDMI input. Get in the game at Safeway.
Welcome back to BC Place Stadium, where the Eskimos have not beaten the Lions since July 9th, 2004. But off to a good start tonight, a 76-yard touchdown drive to open proceedings. And right back to work looking for Fred Stamps, who has a catch at the Lion bench and a pickup of close to 8.
Ricky Ray, the starting quarterback. A.J. Harris started in week 3, has not relinquished that starting role ever since at the tailback position. Kamal Peterson made the big catch a week ago. Took a huge hit over the middle that really rallied the troops to that big comeback against the Lions. There's your offensive line with Patrick Kabongo in there at guard, having a good year.
Ricky Ray finished the last game, 12 of his last 13 for 228 in 20 minutes of work. He's 4 for 4 out of the gate, and on second and a couple, a plunge ahead, close to a first down for the fullback, Matt Bertrand.
This will be very, very close. In fact, they may want to take a look and measure this one. BC Lions defensively this week, quite vocal, especially the secondary. But they need to play a lot better than they did in the second half at Commonwealth Stadium. You can see how short that is. It'll be third down for the Edmonton Eskimos, but BC Lions talking about the fact that they just did not tackle very well in the open field. And after putting up a pretty good first half and having that 10-point lead, they let it slip away. But I think more than letting it slip away, you got to give credit to the Edmonton Eskimos, who really rallied in that second half.
So third and a few links of the chain. Ray plunging behind center John Comiskey, and the left guard Calvin Armstrong has the first down. And we'll set that Lion defense for you.
Defensively for the Lions, they have 18 sacks on the season. Cameron Wake, the leader in the Canadian Football League, has 7. Brent Johnson is on a bit of a roll, 3 in his last 2 games. There's the linebacking core, Javi Glatt in the middle. And one of the guys that was very vocal in that secondary was Corey Banks. Felt like he could step up and play a lot better tonight than he did in Commonwealth Stadium.
Strange, that defense, number 1 in takeaways, 2 in sacks and yards against, and yet 6th in points allowed. Quick hitter, Stamps bobbled the ball and dropped it. And that's the first incompletion for Ray on the night.
Well, it was a great start for Ricky Ray, no matter what happens on this second down, even if they have to kick it away. And Ray talked about this year how he really wants to get this football and push it down the field. They're taking more shots vertically. They did on that very first drive, hitting Brock Ralph and then capping it off with this nice corner route from Kelly Campbell, who has breakaway speed on those deep routes.
Ray deployed 8 different receivers last week. He already has the ball in the hands of 4 different receivers tonight. 2nd and 10. Here comes the rush, but the pass away, and A.J. Harris has the catch. And another first down up against Corey Banks.
Well, that was some kind of catch for A.J. Harris, because remember, that's a tailback, and a tailback that weighs in at 225, and he's going to come out of the backfield, and he is going to run the wheel route. So basically, he starts right beside Ricky Ray, comes out, and then down the sideline like that. Right in beside Ricky Ray, there's the back, number 34, out of the backfield. Oldest Floyd's in the chase position. He can't catch him. He's hoping Corey Banks over the top can make the hit in time. He doesn't. A.J. Harris hangs on. That's pretty good hands for a tailback.
Absolutely. 30 yards for A.J. Harris, who had 19 touches a week ago. They shovel it inside Harris again, and he rumbles down to the 16, and the Eskimos making it look easy early.
Oh, are they ever? And I love, oftentimes teams will script the first 10, sometimes 15 plays. The Edmonton Eskimos have an excellent game plan to start this one. They push the ball vertically. They've involved A.J. Harris. That's another different look on the shovel pass that catches the Lions defense off guard. And right now, early in this game, the Lions are on their heels.
And Ricky Ray is red hot. You saw Anthony Calvillo. Ray needs 317 tonight, 317 yards passing to take over the league lead through week 7. And he's off to a terrific start. back at the 16 where they scored from the last time here. Ray has time, guns it through the hands of Kamal Peterson, who made a couple of very tough catches a week ago.
Ricky Ray has lots of time and has in these last 2 series, and if he keeps getting time, he will hit his projections, which are closing in on 6,000 yards for this year, and that will be an Edmonton Eskimo club record. And what I think is most impressive about those numbers, if he can maintain his pace, is the lack of interceptions, the lack of mistakes. Just 3 so far after 6 weeks for Ricky Ray.
Better than the pace, better than his career best. 55-10 in 2005 when he won a Grey Cup. 2nd and 10. And into the end zone, Brock Ralph unable to adjust to the ball over his head. And this time the Eskimos will have to settle for 3.
This time LeVar Glover is going to play man-to-man rather than let Brock Ralph go, which they did in the first series when he made the big catch down the sideline. That was the zone coverage. This time the Lions go with a man-to-man coverage, and LeVar Glover was in good position.
So on comes Noel Prefontaine, who has hit his last 7.
He hasn't missed in a couple of games, both these kickers.
Yeah, both kickers are on a roll. The left footer steps up, puts that through. And 2 possessions, 2 scores, and a 10-0 Eskimo lead.